You're listening to Rochester Trail Riders. Today we're going to switch things up a little bit and bring in a guest into our studio, Rae Lombino. Hi, Rae.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Rae, things Thanksgiving and maybe a little gift-giving guide to help you and your horse-crazy friends. So to get into things, we're just going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. As always, the best thing you can do to help our is to hit the like button, follow, subscribe, give us a review and rating. It really means the world to us. And then anything that we talk about today, I do a detailed transcript with all things linky back to things so you can do quick lookups. But Rae and I got a chance to meet each other due to me needing a farm sitter one year, and she came highly recommended, and the rest is technically history because she never left. Rae actually brought her horses over.
Couldn't get rid of me.
I got her introduced to minis. She brought a mini over to the farm, got her into driving, and I breed horses, and she ended up purchasing one of my foals from me, Miss Millie. So, Rae,
Good old
meet you,
Milfred.
your farm currently. Moved away.
Yeah. Well, I want to start off by just saying thank you for having me on today. This is going to be so much fun. But yeah, so I think you and I met back in 2019
Think
or
so. It was definitely
something
pre-COVID.
like that. Or yes, pre-COVID for sure. And yeah, we did so much stuff together. Lindsay has taught me literally everything about, keeping horses at home, farm care, farm maintenance. Got to play with her stallion Pete,
Sexy
which
Pete.
was such an incredible experience getting to work with him. And like she said, I had my mini boarded with her, wound up stealing one of her minis when I moved my horses home. The wonderful little
I do. I
Rain.
miss seeing him.
Um, I know I miss him. Um, and then of course Miss Millie, which was not planned. It wasn't my original plan. Originally wanted to keep her mom, Miss Scout, but Lindsay, literally, I'm giving you a shout out here on your own podcast. If you need the gift of a foal ever, breed to Pete because he literally makes the best babies. I mean, any opportunity I have to tell people that, Millie is just like, she got her daddy's brain and he has the best head on his shoulders. So, yeah, so I guess a little bit about me otherwise would be I have 6 horses now, all kept at my home, and I just do kind of a little bit of everything. I drive with my Mini, hopefully going to drive with Millie as well. I do English, Western, a lot of trail riding, and most recently have gotten into riding in parades with my old man, Tex, which has been so much fun. But yeah, otherwise it's just a lot of farm care and poop picking and all that good stuff.
Oh
So
gosh,
that's yeah.
I gotta tell you, if we're going to be on the topic of Thanksgiving, the one thing I am actually thankful for is having my own farm. And I'm sure you can attest to that.
Yeah.
There's something therapeutic about cleaning a stall, and I don't know what it is. And
Yes.
then you bring everybody in
No,
at night, it's
absolutely.
cold, you just listen. I sit and listen to them just chewing away, and it's
Yes. It's literally like ASMR,
yeah.
just listening to horses eating hay. It's so relaxing. And that's funny that you say that about like it being therapeutic mucking. It genuinely is. And I even posted something on my farm page about it. I called it manure meditation because it literally like I don't know if you're like me, but when I'll be out like cleaning stalls or cleaning a paddock or whatever, that's when like I do my best
Yeah,
thinking,
it is.
honestly. Like my mind just dreams and wanders and
It's
it's genuinely very relaxing.
can't agree more. Can't agree more. Absolutely love it. And the I with the exception of dumping and scrubbing water buckets. I hate that. I don't know. It's it's not
Yeah,
so
it's not my
not so
favorite.
bad if it wasn't for the fact that it's winter's coming and then you have to like, ugh, just it's
Yes,
not fun in the winter. I'm not my fan. But,
I agree.
to listen to a horse chew, unlike humans where I could half the time punch them in the throat, horses are very
Yes,
therapeutic listening to just them. It's
absolutely.
very consistent and it's methodical and I love it.
Yes, that and, like, when I'm sitting out in the barn, I've got, like, the horses eating hay, and then there's, like, the ticking of my fence charger,
It's
just
just
like a
keeping
metronome
time.
in the background.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see if it can
It's
give it a
like, I
thumbs up.
genuinely could fall asleep to it.
Oh, it doesn't do it on the live
Can
one,
we do
that's a
the thumbs
bummer.
up again?
I was so hoping for the little thumb
Man.
bubble that would go up. No, we're just gonna look like
Well, we can
idiots,
give it
just be
thumbs
like,
up.
"Early it did something earlier, I promise."
It did. I saw it
Okay, we're
too.
just crazy in our own world. Oh gosh,
That's okay,
this
that's
past
okay.
year has been crazy for me. Like, new job, lost 2 hor
Me
new
too.
job, lost no, 3 horses, right? Yeah.
Oh, you got your thumbs up. It just appeared. Not to
Oh,
interrupt you, your little thumbs up bubble appeared when you were just talking.
it just must have a delay. I don't know why.
It must. And of course, the people that are just listening and not watching are
What is
probably like,
wrong with you
"Okay, they
guys?
are losing their
Yeah.
minds
We're
right
just
now."
talking at a computer going, "Where's my thumbs up, man?" And then, of course, we're talking
Yeah.
thumbs up as I just said I had, 3 horses dead, so that's helpful. But
Yeah, not the best
no.
timing.
But you know what is good is the horse community because for everything that I went through this
Absolutely.
past year, the number of people that reached out and, gave their sympathy, came over, just to see if I was okay, left flowers at the barn. Oh my gosh. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna, like I nobody should have that many horse losses that close together. It was
Right.
just
Absolutely.
insane, and man, am I thankful for the local community in Rochester. You guys, you know who you are. You all rock, and you're my besties, and I hope in some way I can pay it forward again in the future because, wow, you all stepped it up. Go Rochester.
Yeah, absolutely, and totally different situation, but I definitely feel the love in that respect too. I mean, I kind of went through a fun little medical thing with my mare this year where she got diagnosed with a herpes virus infection in her eye. And everybody that was super helpful with us, just, offering not only support, but like, hey, here's recommendations for these special masks that she now has to wear. And oh, well, have you tried this to help keep her more comfortable? And just offering any sort of advice and just the support alone, and everyone kind of being like, you're not alone in this, even if we don't understand what's going on, like we're here for you. Feeling that love from fellow horse people, it makes you feel so much better and definitely helps take some of the stress off of your shoulders when you've got crazy things like that going on.
Definitely. I mean, we're blessed to have such a great community around us, and, do you know we're speaking of community, do you know Rochester Trail Riders is about to hit the 4,000, member mark?
I noticed
I
that, which is so
I almost
exciting.
wanna throw, like, a little 4,000 party because that's crazy.
We should.
I think
It
Western New
is.
York Horse beats us. They're at the 7,000, but I don't know. I have a couple of naughty folks that if I have horse sale posts or anything where it looks like I have an animal for sale, we get flagged almost immediately to, Facebook. I don't know what that's
Yeah.
about, so I feel bad. I think the other groups get a little more because they can do the horse sales, but it
Right.
is what it is.
There It is what it is. I mean, there's definitely plenty of other
Yep.
places that folks can go to, sell, do anything like that. And honestly, not for nothing, I almost like that we don't have that in the group just because I feel like it keeps a little bit of the drama that's
Yes.
associated with sales and things like that away because it can get, I mean, I'm sure any horse person gets it. Horse sales can be interesting
Yeah. Well, and I've
sometimes.
learned that by keeping the sales out, our group has gotten a little more we're a little more focused on helping each other with questions and problems and,
Yeah.
"Hey, where can I do this?" or "Where can I get that?"
It's more like a
Yeah,
forum now,
so
like a community that everybody can just, converse and yeah, I feel like especially lately, and I don't know if it's because, like, we're about to dip into winter and that's when either a lot of like newer horse owners or maybe folks that haven't experienced a Western New York, Rochester winter before, that have like moved from the South or whatever, are kind of like, hey,
yeah.
help. And everybody just is always jumping on those posts with comments of saying, like, here's my blanket recommendations, or here's a recommendation for good heated buckets or, whatever it is. Like everybody's just been very
I think you're
helpful.
right. I mean, with how hot the South has been, I've noticed some folks are starting to move back north. And, you have a lot
Yeah.
of people that are from, Aiken and South Carolina and down to Florida. While we got some snowbirds that can
Mhm.
afford to make those trips every single year, some folks are looking for a spot to move where it's a little more comfortable year round, where you only hide inside what
Yeah.
I think I'm usually outside riding up until January when it starts to switch. So January, February is
Right.
about the only time where I'm like, throw out a round bale, heated water, y'all are fine." And I will
It's
yeah,
winter
and
break.
then I get back into things right around March, about the time the time comes
Right.
back and, it's light outside again.
Yes. That's what sucks my motivation
It's just
away is just losing so much
I
daylight. That's the worst part of it.
I don't know what your hours for your job, but my day job, I work 40-minute commute away from 8 to 4.
Right.
And that little bit of time I have left is the commute. That so I'll go months without
Yeah.
actually seeing the
Right.
sun 5 days a week. I don't
Yep.
like it.
Hate it.
But, you mentioned recommendations and stuff about, people asking, "Hey, what is what are some items I can have?" Especially coming in the winter. I figure this is a great way to segue into things that we can talk about on what to get a horse person, because
Yes.
what is it that other horse people want? Maybe there's somebody listening to this podcast is like, I'm listening because I have a son or daughter who's into this. What is it that they might appreciate as we come into these winter months? Or what's a little knickknack that I can, you know, put in that stocking stuffer, a big item under the Christmas tree this year? So I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm trying to
Absolutely.
I had some props around here somewhere, but whatever. Uh,
We'll have to use our
yeah, I know.
imagination. It's
Well,
okay.
one thing that I got sitting over here is literally a bucket. It happens to be my foaling and lambing bucket, but so
Ah.
if you're looking for maybe a let me get closer over here. If you're looking for like a big idea, like something to have under a tree, using a small 2-gallon bucket and filling it with goodies, even if they're not horse related goodies, horse people love buckets, mainly because horses love to destroy them
Yes.
with amazing regularity. But,
Mhm. That
you
they
know,
do.
but hit up Tractor Supply, fill a bucket with some goodies. Socks. You can never have enough socks in the
Yes.
winter.
All the
Every sock
socks.
that you can think of. Skinny ones, the, nice knee-high ones that can go up over your tights or nice thick
Yep.
wool ones. Man, socks are
Yes.
I don't know. I have an obsession with them, like an
Oh, me
insane
too.
one.
Absolutely.
But what I don't know, what else would you fit in a bucket if you were to use that as your
Um,
stocking?
in a bucket. Let's see. Yeah, right, the horse person's stocking. It's just a bucket. There we
And if
go.
you wanna get really fancy,
Let's
make it a heated
see.
bucket.
Yes. You cannot have too many heated buckets here in the Rochester winters, like I said before.
Yeah.
because you ever have one of those go and you don't have a spare, it's like, "Oh dear god, what do I
Yeah,
do?"
and I like I broke ice before, and it's not
Um,
fun. I don't like it.
it is not fun. No, no, especially, like, I remember last year when there was that huge storm that we had, I think it was, like, middle of the
Yeah, it was
month
in
or
December.
something, or
Was
yeah,
it
it was, like, in
it destroyed
December, and
Buffalo.
there were yeah, it destroyed Buffalo, and we got, like, some of the side effects of it,
Yeah.
I feel, and it was just, like, trees down everywhere, and as a result, there were power outages, and it was cold enough to freeze water, and we couldn't do anything about it because we can't plug buckets in, it's not we have no
Ugh.
power. So, dealing with the ice and just everything from that was such a nightmare, um, but I would say nothing beats, especially in the winter, if you've got a shod horse in particular, a nice beefy hoof pick.
Ooh.
Like one of those really heavy duty, like I believe it's Noble Outfitters that makes these hoof picks that one side is your hoof pick and the other side is like a wine cork or something, like the screw
I
in
like this.
kind. Yeah, it's super cute. I've seen them at Dover. Um, but like, yeah, just one of those really heavy duty ones because I know some of the cheaper ones, especially if you have a shod horse that gets ice balls in their feet. I've had hoof picks literally bend and break trying to just like get the ice out of
I'm kinda curious,
there.
is it actually for a wine, like, the uncork a bottle of wine? Because horses and
Yes.
drinking go
Yeah.
together. I have
That I
adjustable
think that's like the joke of
I have
it.
adjustable wrenches that are bottle openers on the other end, because
Right.
you need
You
it.
know what? I am gonna find a link for that, and that's gonna be in the
Oh,
transcript
bring it
right here
on.
for all of our horse and wine enthusiasts. I'm telling you that does exist, and I will
Yes,
find it.
please.
But I would definitely say, a really good quality heavy duty hoof pick is going to be your best friend. And then I don't know about everybody else, but a ton of hand warmers. Just
You
hand
and I are
warmers
thinking
out the
exactly the
wazoo.
same thing, like, I have that I'm looking around. Oh, there's what I was looking for. This is for something later. But, yeah, hand warmers. Guess what I just discovered too on
Yes.
top of hand warmers? They make these ones that are
What
like
you
these
got?
sticky patches, they're big, and you can stick
Oh,
them. You don't
yes.
stick them on you, but you put them under your the outermost layer.
Yes. Like the body
I mean,
warmers.
they have the electric vests and stuff, but I don't know.
Right.
I'm really bad at remembering to recharge things, so they last a
I
long
get that.
time, like, all day.
They do. Those are my best friends in the winter. As somebody who has poor circulation and also nerve damage, I need all the help I can get to keep my feet warm, keep my hands warm, and yeah, keeping, your core warm as well. I'm like all bundled up, but those body warmers are
Speaking of
amazing.
hands warm, another gift that is simple and easy to put in your new bucket that you just got over here, um, exam gloves. I mean, we're just coming out of the COVID area.
Yes.
Those exam gloves, put them on underneath your gloves to help keep your hands warm, or better yet that I've
Yep.
discovered, get a really thin pair of, fine wool or even cotton gloves, just a really, really tiny thin pair, and put the
Oh,
exam
okay.
gloves over that, so it gives a little air layer. Now you got
Oh.
hands that don't get wet, and, and it keeps them
Yeah.
warm, and the wind can't go through it. They're cheap and easy, and holy cow, do they make a difference in the winter.
They do. I've never tried it with the exam gloves over, like, a thin, like, cotton glove.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
like,
to try that.
crazy,
I've
like
done it just the exam gloves under something
yeah,
else.
try them getting them under a glove that
Okay.
just, you're looking at it going, "There's no way this is gonna, keep me warm." Like, it's a liner glove.
Right.
Yeah, put them over that. They're wow, mind-blowing.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try
Okay,
that.
just so you know, my one big ticket item that I'd like to share for this show, I don't know if you have this because I
Mhm.
know you're big into videography and
Oh.
stuff and being able to do it, but
Yes. Is it that
it
obvious?
is
The
the Pivo.
Pivo.
So, for your horsey friend who wants to video themselves in any way, shape, or form, this sucker is awesome because
I agree. I don't have one personally, but I actually did my boss purchased one for my job. So for our dog training, we have a Pivo so that we can take training
yeah, it's
videos.
a one-man
And
cameraman. It's awesome.
they're amazing.
About
They
the only
are.
thing you gotta remember is to put yourself in airplane mode when you use it, I've learned.
Yes.
Otherwise, any
Yep.
notifications, phone calls, anything, just because for those people that don't know what a Pivo is, your phone actually controls this thing, and you put it on a tripod and you connect your phone. I don't have the top on it because I just brought it in for charging. But this little guy, your phone literally controls where it's looking and it will focus on you or your horse, depending on how you set it up, and it will follow you in a ring and it literally will act as a cameraman. So I know during
Yep.
the COVID years, we did a lot of virtual shows and you would mount your Pivo at
Yes.
sea like it was the judge, and it would follow you around the ring so you could literally submit
Yeah.
virtual dressage tests. And I got a friend of mine up in Canada
Yep.
that's what she does. Like she did all of her English dressage and Western dressage, and holy cow, racking up the ribbons because this thing follows her along.
Yeah. And even so, I don't know if we do have any like actual Pivo users or people that are like, whoa, that's super cool. One thing that you can actually do with it as well, if you want to kind of take things up a step. So, like if you're making, say, like a sales video or, something like an advertisement, what you can do is if you're able to kind of rig things up a little bit fancy, I found that you can actually put a small camera, like physical camera
Yes.
on top of the Pivo. And if you can still attach your phone, somehow rig it up so that your phone is doing the tracking, but you're recording on like the better quality
Yep.
camera, you can kind of do that as well. You just have to obviously have your phone running the app for it to work. But the Pivo is
Yeah,
amazing.
and they
Love
actually
that
make that
little guy.
attachment, which will let you put like that GoPro or even a small DSLR right on top of the thing.
That's what I thought. Yeah, they've got a lot of good
Oh yeah.
accessories, and what's nice about the Pivo too, not
Not
sponsored,
sponsored, yeah,
not sponsored by
definitely
Pivo.
not affiliated
Um,
or sponsored. I just love it.
what's nice about them too is that I've noticed they have like, your kind of beginner friendly, like basic Pivo, and then they have different levels of,
I
I guess
Yeah,
I
so
guess advanced
this one's a
technology.
silver because it has a silver band, so this is
Mhm.
the silver model that I got, and that one
Yeah, and then I think they have a red
that's the step
one and
down.
something else.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it goes
okay.
red and
So there
silver, and
is
it's been a while
yeah,
since I've been out there. Silver was the best they had at the time I could get one. Now they
right.
come in all these colors and
I
everything.
wanna s Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very I'm glad you brought that up. That is definitely a good and it'll fit in your bucket, your equestrian
It
stocking
would
stuffer.
totally fit in the bucket. You could do this. This is a high item bucket item.
Yeah. I have a couple things that I can throw
Go for it.
into the ring. One that was a huge, huge godsend for me. Not so much going to be helpful if you are traveling like off your property to go ride, but a bit warmer. So I don't know if you've got cranky horses that are like, it's cold, it's icky out, and then you go to put a bit in their mouth that's cold, and they're just like, are you kidding me? This is the stupidest thing ever.
Is the one that you have
Bit
like,
warmer.
is it the Polos R Us one?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got one of those because I saw purple plaid and I had to have it. But yeah, you just like throw it in the microwave for
Of
2
course.
minutes, wrap your bit,
Yep.
and totally
Yeah.
got one.
And it lasts a while. Like, it will stay warm for quite some
And then
time.
pro
So,
tip,
if you heat it up before
once you're done warming your
yeah.
bit and you're riding, just put it like if you're wearing a hoodie or something, put it in your hoodie and it keeps you warm too. Bam.
Oh,
'Cause they do last
you are a
forever.
genius. They do. They definitely retain the heat for quite some time. But yeah, so that would fit in your
Is
bucket as well.
I
But
think
one
we can have a
thing
link
I
for that one too.
got
Because I think that's
Yes, yes. Yep, she's got tons of different, patterns and all kinds of
oh,
fun things
yeah.
for the bit
I think you and
warmers,
I were
and they're not terribly
you
expensive
and I were
either.
talking beforehand how, I'm like your practical side and you're my crazy side with my artistic-y stuff, right?
Yes.
You're the one that in let me realize that you can put polos on your horse and have, unicorns eating tacos as a design. So,
Heck yeah, you can. If you can imagine it, it can exist for you and your horse.
yeah, I was never a big
Um,
matchy-matchy person until you came into my life, and now I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what color polo? Should I do 2 different color polos on this one? What design should I have on top?" Yeah,
right?
and it turns out purple plaid is my favorite. Purple and yellow plaid specifically.
Yeah. Yes. I think that was the first set. I wanna say I got those for you guys when it was my first Echo show.
Yeah,
I think that's when
I
we
that
got
was when we were out
those.
in Geneva or Skinny Atlas.
Yes.
It was a Skinny Atlas
Yep.
show. We were very matchy for
Yeah.
that one with our fancy
We
everything.
were super
And then you
coordinated.
I love the little,
That w
Harley Davidson polos for your little mini Harley there.
Yeah, he kinda needed those. So one kinda slightly bigger
Yes.
ticket item, but it's not horribly expensive, it's just bigger in size. And I got this for myself last year from Etsy, and that is a waterproof riding skirt.
Oh,
So it is waterproof and insulated. It's kinda like the same material as, like, snow pants,
okay.
and that thing is amazing. It like I said earlier, as somebody with poor circulation and nerve damage, I need everything I can to keep me warm, and if I'm gonna go ride, I gotta be as bundled up as possible. Um, and I love that riding skirt because if you decide to go out for, like, a snowy trail ride, it's going to keep you dry, and because it's gonna drape over the back of your horse, it's going to keep them a little
Like a
drier
rump rug,
as
yeah.
well, and yeah, so it's just kinda like having a quarter sheet, but you're wearing it instead of them. And not for nothing, there is something so fun about wearing a riding skirt, it just kinda, like, makes me at least I feel so cool when I'm wearing
Little
it.
medieval thing going on. You're like, "Oh, look, I'm all Outlander over here."
Right. Exactly.
Except, where's
So I got
the
mine from
Scotsman that
Etsy. I
comes
know
with that?
there's Yeah, right? That was not included with my
Mm,
package,
bummer.
unfortunately.
Alright.
So I got mine from Etsy. I know there's tons of people out there that make them though, and there are like wool versions and other materials too. I just personally wanted the insulated waterproof version, or it may be water resistant is a better term for
Usually
it because
those
you
make it
wouldn't want to go,
wind resistant.
swimming in it. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, man.
So I could find where I found that, for our
Then, you gotta put
transcript,
your
but that would be
you gotta put your, riding tights was it I'm obsessed with the Carrots winter was it Sit Tight and Warm?
yes,
They're a game changer. Like, your life
those are my go-to.
is totally I can't not wear them all winter long. I even wear them under my pants at work.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh,
toasty.
yeah. No, me too. The Carrots tights are incredible. Easily the best winter, like, riding tights that I have ever
I
worn.
stalk Amazon for those, I'm not gonna lie. Um, because if you find them out
Yeah.
of season, because 'cause they're expensive, they're not a cheap item in by any stretch of the imagination,
Yeah.
and I've usually picked mine up for 50 bucks or less when it's wicked out of season.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So,
awesome.
if you're willing to,
Yeah.
not buy now and wait for everything to go on sale, just
Right.
stalk Amazon for those because 'cause they're I've got a whole army of them now.
I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe even have, like, a Black Friday type deal for something
One
like
could
that
hope.
too. I don't really know what anybody's got going on for sales so far this year. I haven't seen much advertised for that, so I guess we'll all be
We're
surprised.
a little early too because this is just beginning of
This
November-ish.
is true.
Well, November 12th, I think, is when
Yeah.
we're recording this, so maybe we're halfway through now.
Yeah, you're
My god,
right.
Thanksgiving.
Good lord, where is the time
I
going?
know. I wonder what our Thanksgiving's gonna be like.
Um, I
Like, is it gonna
know.
be warm or
Who
cold?
knows?
Just to, sidetrack into a little Thanksgiving story here for you. So, uh,
Yeah. Hit me with it.
my mom lives at the end of our driveway, as you know, and it's a quarter long mile
Mhm.
trip, and we actually make the turkey for Thanksgiving, and we have to bring it to the house. Well, depending on the weather every year, we change up how we bring the turkey to the Thanksgiving table, and one year it snowed. So I dug out the horse and sleigh,
Oh,
and
boy.
we delivered the turkey via horse and sleigh.
That is iconic.
I mean,
Oh my
talk
gosh.
about the perfection of, the holiday theme and Christmas and everything, and the leaves were still on the trees. So, you had this
Okay.
beautiful fall foliage with this 2 or 3 inches of big, white, fluffy snow and a horse and sleigh in the middle of it, and of course, you can't not put a bow on your horse when you're delivering a turkey, so we added it all up.
Absolutely. You have
Yeah.
to. Have
You
to.
guys do anything
That is
weird for your Thanksgiving traditions or attempts?
well, we don't really have any, like, well, I guess that's a lie. So, my latest thing that I've liked to try to do is I always, because I'm very sentimental and sappy, I always like to just kinda share something on, like, my Instagram, my Facebook, just kinda talking about the past year, things I'm thankful for, and as of last year, I'm dubbing this, I guess, a tradition of trying to take a group photo with all of the horses. And I roped my boyfriend into doing it with
Oh, boy.
me. And let's just say, trying to mangle, it was 5 horses at the time. It was
Oh,
before
so
we
you're
got
gonna
the
one
old
up it this
man.
year.
Um, yeah, we're well, so we were trying to do it with the 5, and my mom's Shetland pony, Karma, she's a bit of a sassball. She's kinda your typical Shetland, I guess we'll
Hey,
say.
I'm okay with using that term.
So she was just not having it. She did not wanna be caught. She was like, "I want no part of whatever shenanigans you guys have going on." So I said, all right, fine. We'll just take a group picture with my 4. So that is my mini, Harley, the baby, Millie, and then my original duo, Bug and Jazz. So I roped my boyfriend into taking this picture with me. I was like, "Yeah, we'll get a nice little family photo that I can share. It's gonna be great." So I tried to give him, like, who I thought would be the 2 best behaved, which was Jazz and the baby, because you put the 2 girls together, they're usually, like, super chill, they're very sweet with each other, and I was like, "I'll mangle the boys." And Harley is a little
Yep.
spitfire. Bug, depending on the day, is either like, "I wanna eat the camera because it's so exciting," or he's just like, "I'm bored, let me go eat my hay." And oh my gosh, the process of trying to get all 4 of them to stand still and all look at the camera. Everybody, like, "Put your ears up." My poor mother is behind, she's just taking pictures on my phone, and she's behind the phone just, like, smooching at him, clucking to him. She's trying to, like, throw leaves in the air, throw rocks in the air, anything she can to get their attention, and it was like, we'd have one looking, and the other ones are like, "Yeah, we don't care," or Harley's trying to bite Bug for some
God,
reason,
yes.
and then um Josh, my boyfriend, is standing there, with the 2 girls who are just both like, this an absolute waste of our time. Like, why are we here?"
Stupid humans.
And he's just like, he's a beginner horseman. Kind of got roped into that when he met me, so he's learning and he's doing great, but he was just kind of like, what am I supposed to do here? I've got the baby in one hand who's just like, ah, oh my god, everything's exciting today, and then Jazz is just standing there like, if she could roll her
Oh,
eyes, she
a mare
totally
totally
would.
can.
Honestly, she's just so done
Oh god.
with everybody. But it was just like, it was literally, it felt like an SNL sketch, honestly, of just all of us. It was so chaotic. And long story short, we did get the picture that I was hoping for, where both me and Josh were smiling. The horses were all somewhat looking in the right direction, somewhat all had their ears up.
You're
And
gonna
I think about like 40
you're
pictures
you're
later,
gonna
we
have to
we got
send
it.
me that photo so I can add it to the show notes.
I will. Yes, I will.
'Cause I gotta see how that one turned out, because that's crazy.
Yes, no, I will, I will. It's a good one. I was happy with how it turned out.
So how was your riding this
But yeah,
year? I know
so
my year this year when I was out, I didn't even start to get into the saddle and ride or drive with the exception of competitions until August.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So I would say it's kind of funny. I didn't do as much trail riding specifically as I was hoping to this year. The one thing that I did get out and do quite a bit of, I got into cattle sorting this
I
year.
saw photos of that and it
And
looked
I
awesome.
Yeah, it's been such a blast, and most of what I got to do was with, my trainer Brooke and her horses, because none of mine know how to sort cattle. I mean, Jazz especially, like, she's Poco bred, she's got the cow lines, but she doesn't know how to do that. So I started with my trainer's horses who are seasoned, they're very beginner friendly, they know the game, and figured it was better for me to learn on
Oh
a
gosh,
horse
yeah.
that, like, knew how to play the
Well,
game than having both me and Jazz come in being like,
yeah,
what do we do?"
especially since I know you and I, we both come from the English hunter jumper kind of background and training up.
Yes.
So making that switch to a working stock is it's crazy different.
Yes. It is so different, but it is such a blast. Oh my gosh, I have had so much fun with that this year. I went to mostly just a lot of like small practice type events where, you pay $5 for a practice run and you just get to it doesn't matter if you mess up, you're just learning the game, and everybody was so welcoming and so helpful. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I kinda have a rough idea, but once you, like, actually get in the pen and you're surrounded by the cattle, you kinda like, at least for me, like, the first time, my brain was just like, "Pff, bye, like, figure it
Yeah,
out."
I don't know. I'm gonna
Like,
wait until somebody tells me to do something
I'm
and
like, "Okay."
trust my horse at that point.
And but genuinely, like, the horse obviously, they know their job, but everybody that was there was just like, they so with cattle sorting, for anybody that doesn't know, how it works is you go in the pen, there are 10 cows, they're numbered 1 through or technically 0 through 9, and you have to sort them starting from whatever number is called out first. So if they say cattle number 4, you're going to start with 4, work up to 9, and then go back to 0 through
Oh,
3.
wow, okay.
So you want to get all those cows sorted in the right order,
Do you have to put them in a
and you're
pen, or how's that?
disqualified. Yeah, so it's like 2 round pens basically with an opening in the middle, and they all start on one side, and you have to sort them all in the correct order onto the other pen. Um, and it depending some of the cattle that you get to work with are either super chill or they're absolutely insane, and it's very interesting. All of us as equestrians already have decided to pursue a sport and a hobby that involves another living
Yeah, and
being that with a brain of their own that
kill
can
you at
do
any
what they
moment
want.
in time. The one that you're on and the one that you're working
Absolutely.
with.
Yep, absolutely. And so to take up a discipline that now throws another being with their own
Opinions.
thoughts
Yeah.
and opinions into the ring is very wild, but so fun. And at least for me, I loved the challenge of it. Like, just it's not easy. And there were times where I feel like I got a little bit of beginner's luck and had, a pretty quiet group of cows that clearly have kind of done this a time or two before, and they're like, "Okay, we know the game. Like, we'll go this way." And then other ones that just they show you no mercy. And what I learned this year is cows will keep you humble. If you think you're getting good, no, you're not, because they will show you you still have so much to
It
learn.
it makes you appreciate the well, heck, it's still true today, the cowboys. I mean,
Yes.
being able to be one with a horse to be able to move livestock from point A to point B is still something that's done today, despite all the other technologies
Yep.
available like UTVs and ATVs, and heck, I've even watched them do it with
Yep.
drones and helicopters, but you still, at the end
Right.
point, a rider and a horse still is your buddy and a good dog at that point too.
Yes. Oh god, yeah, there's nothing better than a good cattle dog that knows their job
Yeah,
too.
that my beasts are
Yeah, so
useless for
that was
helping me.
kind of my That's okay, so are mine. They have no idea how to act
Pibbles
around things like
Pibbles are
that.
good couch potatoes. They are useless on a farm.
They
They're
are.
very good at keeping
Yes,
a
unfortunately.
pile of straw warm. That's about it.
Mhm. Yeah, and they'll keep you company, but that's it. Maybe eat some poop off the
Oh,
floor, get into things they're not
so
supposed
tasty,
to.
so tasty. I mean, I've never indulged
So
personally, but
tasty.
I can only imagine the flavor compilation from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally am not gonna I'm not interested, it's okay, they can keep that delicacy to themselves.
Well, apparently we're missing out on something good.
So,
Um,
what are some things you got to do, though, with, like, your riding, your driving this year?
I went nuts with volunteering, believe it or not, with, us wankers, as you know, Western New York Combined Carriage Association, because can't figure out how to pronounce it, so wankers it is. And, I think I only missed one of their shows, and that was physically because I was out of town. But, from
Right.
CTs to all of the echoes to actually volunteering the big driving show that they now host at Avon, I put all my time and effort into that club this year. And then, it wasn't
Yeah.
until August when I got this silly idea to do this podcast, and then part of the reason, I'm like, I wanna go and do all the trails, like, all of them, and I started putting the mileage together, and we're, like, talking close to 300 miles of trails within an hour drive of Rochester
Oh,
that are horse
yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I'm like, "Well, if I'm interested in this, maybe somebody else is, and I'll just document everything, give my opinions on, what you can do. Can you ride? Can you drive? What are the conditions like? Parking, all that, and I'll just throw it together as a podcast, either for myself or for anybody else who really cares."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it's been
absolutely.
a little crazy on that aspect of things. But yeah.
And you've done a phenomenal job with the podcast. I have loved every episode that I have listened
Oh,
to.
good. I'm so glad. I had fun with the little ghost story that I made
You're
up too.
Yes, and not for nothing, and for anybody that is listening to us now that maybe hasn't gotten all up to date on Lindsay's other episodes, go listen to them as soon as you're done listening to this. Um, but you're a phenomenal storyteller. Like, I literally just I pop the podcast on while I'm doing whatever or just, sitting down because they're a perfect length just for it's like having a quick chat with a
I
friend.
try to
That's
keep
what it
them. My
feels
goal
like.
is to keep them between 15 and 30 minutes. Obviously, this podcast is gonna go much
Yeah.
longer because 'cause we're having a conversation, but
Yes.
for a story time, I feel like 15 to 30 minutes, and
It's
I have them
perfect.
parsed out, I got my little intro, tell you about the parks and trails and, go into, my little journey, for it, and then I try to do a little statistics. I got some feedback from other podcasters and family members on adding. I think I do it the 4 hoof, at the end of each one. You're like,
Yes.
"Okay, what's your parking
Yep.
score, trail maintenance, maps and signage," that kind of stuff. So,
And I love
yeah,
that.
evolving as I go. I'm gonna keep all my mistakes at the beginning. A lot of people go back and they'll fix, their intros and outros and I'll let this thing grow
Yeah.
organically as I figure. But I don't
Absolutely.
wanna let this one go too long. We got a couple little things I wanna do, which is a community
Yeah.
spotlight and, being able to shout
Yes.
out to, all other things that are in the area, especially either, stores or shops that are local, give a little shout out to business. Another big one I wanna do is, your local, um, what am I trying to say? Like your lollipop farm and your begin again horse rescues, the folks that, actually will help,
Yeah.
because I know they helped me rehome one of my minis that was just not fitting in and find him the perfect home.
Mhm.
So, they especially Begin Again
Yeah.
has a massive tack shop. So if you're looking for a good deal on
Yes.
items, especially blankets, holy cow. Or
And I know that they do sales come like the holiday season. They definitely do have some fun sales for but yeah, their shop is absolutely massive. It is literally in a house. It's 2 levels of
Yeah.
tack for everybody. There's
Yeah.
everything you can
What
imagine there.
English, Western, ponies,
Saddles.
riding,
Yeah,
driving.
literally. Yes. They have, show clothes and breeches and jeans, boots, literally everything.
Especially good for,
And
like,
it's all donations.
kids. Yeah, like, if your kids are growing up through the
Yes.
levels, definitely a spot to check out, and yeah, you're right, donations. I mean, everything goes to, helping the organization out. I know they just built a big
Yep.
barn attachment so they could actually use
Yes, they
riding
did.
arena as an arena, so
Yep.
good
Yeah.
causes over there, but what do you got? Like, those are my
Yes,
little
absolutely. So, if we're talking local, some places also out in the same, neck of the woods as Begin Again, but in Hemlock instead of Lima, we've got the Hemlock Feed Store. I believe it's technically called Hemlock Farm and Garden, but they have obviously primarily a feed store, so they carry all your main feeds. I'm sure it's just livestock feed, pet feed, all of that in general. But they do have a wonderful selection I've noticed of like muck boots, dry shod boots, kind of your all your, I guess, like human needs too, for like the things that we need to replace
yeah.
pretty regularly. So like gloves, boots, all of that kind of stuff. And the owner's super, super friendly. They've got good prices, just another good small store
The,
to
uh
support.
the Avon
Um,
Farm and Feed store here in Avon is like that too.
yes.
Massive, supply of quality boots,
Yes.
and they do dry shod,
Yep.
not the muck
Yeah,
boots,
Avon's
which
yep.
is fantastic 'cause
Yeah, Avon's store is
yeah,
wonderful too.
and cheese, they have really good cheese.
I'm trying to Oh, I did not know that they
Me
had
too.
cheese.
Highly recommend
That's
their
good to
cheese.
know for my next that's actually where I go for my horse's feed. It's the closest one to me at least, so that's where I pop in for all of my horse feed needs, but maybe next time I'll have
Yeah,
to get some of that Avon Feed Store
cheese,
cheese.
river rat cheese, it's very good, highly recommend. Alright, I
All
know you're
right.
the queen of shopping. What else you got for me?
So, my other recommendations are actually online small businesses that I wrote down.
Those are easy to link
So
to,
because
go for
there's
it.
yeah. So, my personal favorite, as we kind of well, as you know, is my friend Caitlin with Polos R Us,
She might have gotten a few
and
shout outs,
she has
just a couple.
oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
she definitely has, and she
unicorn
deserves it
tacos.
too. Yes. That is the quintessential polo, especially for you, of course. But Polos R Us is more than just polo wraps. So obviously you can get horse sized, pony sized, mini size. If you need something custom sized, she can do that too. She's got every color under the sun and literally any pattern, ribbon trim that you can possibly imagine. And if you don't see it,
Ask.
just ask her and I'm sure she can make it work. But she also has the bit warmers, like we
Yep.
talked about before. She has these wonderful drawstring helmet bags that I am obsessed with.
Uh,
So it's just like a drawstring bag that is fleece lined, so it's not scratching your
ooh,
helmet, anything like that. Um, She's got fleece dog toys and dog collars, and so there's some things there for the dog lover in your life, and I'm sure as most of us probably have, us horse girls usually have our dogs
oh, yeah,
as well.
totally.
Oh, yeah. So, I, of course, gonna shout out Polos R Us, and then another business that actually collaborates with Polos R Us quite a bit is Rains for Rescues. Somewhat local, I guess I would say, if you're willing to take a drive right over the border into Pennsylvania, in the little town called Smethport, is Rains for Rescues and Triple Dream Farm. is their rescue there. So all of the profit from Rains for Rescues goes towards their rescue.
Oh, I love it.
And they have yeah, and Christina owns Reins for Rescues, and primarily, of course, as the name entails, it's all paracord and leather horse reins in all different lengths, different styles. So, especially for like our Western people, our like barrel racers, and those of us that like to have the super bright tack, she's got literally, I think, like 500 different color and
Oh,
pattern
nice.
options of
What
paracord
I
to
like
choose
about those
from.
kind of rains is,
S
especially in the winter months, I like a big fat rain because if you're wearing big thick gloves, the
Yes.
English rains, I don't know, I just don't know they exist, and I love having a big fat rain
Yeah,
for your winter gloves, so they're easier to, pick up and grip, so
absolutely. And one thing I especially like about that style of rain too is that they always stay flexible.
yes.
So, I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but I feel like leather especially gets super stiff in the
Beta or
winter.
Biathane does too.
Yeah, so those paracord reins for me are just they're a lot easier to hold, they're really flexible, and they're so easy to keep clean, you can literally throw them in the
Oh,
washing
nice.
machine. That's how I clean all of mine, just right in the wash, or you can, hose them off, whatever, if you wanna do it by hand. Um, but Christina has a great selection of reins, but she also has, like, dog leashes and neck ropes. Basically, if it can be made with paracord, she makes it. And her stuff is very high quality and just another wonderful business that I can't say enough good
Aw.
about.
Well, awesome. I'm just going to turn this one over to our listeners for a little bit
Yeah.
here. That if you guys have any recommendations, especially of local equestrian tacks or shops or, anybody that works for, horses kind of stuff, and especially anything that supports a rescue,
Yeah.
leave us a comment, hit us
Yes.
up on, the RTR Facebook page, anything. We'd love to hear
Mhm.
it and happy to give them shout outs in future episodes.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Lindsay, but I am always down for getting some recommendations for my shopping that I
Oh,
need to
gosh. Yeah,
do.
totally.
So I'm more than happy to hear what everybody else has to say that maybe I would be like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that for a potential gift for the horse lover in my life besides myself."
Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm looking at our time, and I don't want this one to go too much longer for our folks because, as I said, I
Yeah,
usually kept my episodes at, 15 to 30 minutes, and this one's definitely gonna tax their, mental abilities at the moment. At least I know it would mine.
that's fair.
But, I wanted to wrap this one up here, say thank you, Ray. This is really exciting.
Of
Um, w
course.
what
Thank you for having me. This was so
you guys
fun.
probably don't know is Ray and I are working on a separate podcast coming up. Um, we hope to have this one going probably within the next year called Work for Horses. And we're going to focus on different jobs that you can have to work with and for horse communities. So
Yeah.
keep listening for that one. But good old Rochester Trail
We're
Riders,
here to give you
thank you guys. You are a fantastic community. And just a little wrap up here to let you
Yes.
know that our next episode that'll be coming up will be for Letchworth State Park. That one should be
Oh,
coming out in about
wonderful
2
park.
weeks. And the one after that I have in the
Nice.
pipeline is the starting of the Genesee Valley Greenway, the first 18 miles of it.
Ah,
So we do have a couple of episodes in the
awesome.
pipeline for that coming up here shortly. Well, by Christmas, you should have 2 more. And then we might intersperse, in between those story times, something with Ray here. So if you liked her, I
I
do.
would love
You're
to.
fun to chat with. I'm so excited to be able to have this opportunity to do it with you.
Well, the only downside of having me is I don't shut up, so that's why we're sitting here at almost an hour long.
It's okay.
And I could keep going,
All right.
honestly. I could sit here for
Well,
hours more
well,
and
next
give you
next time we're
guys,
gonna do
like
it, but we'll have to have like a cocktail in a hand or something. Really make it a good time.
oh, boy. I would
I,
definitely love that.
you know what? I probably could do an entire episode on drinking stories on horseback.
Oh, you should definitely do
Like,
that.
the
For sure.
number of
I feel like I've
stories.
heard a couple things, just kind of throughout our time knowing each other. I have heard many a story from you, and there are some very good ones that should be
There
shared. For
there's
sure.
something to be had about how being older in my life where I get to teach, you younger guys what not to do or what to try because it was worth the mistake.
Absolutely. And what better way to, just have a little extra fun than, I'm sure from your hunt days,
Oh gosh, yeah.
especially galloping along on a horse with a flask in your pocket and adventure to
It's
be had.
it's all about the, Oreo cookies and, oh god, what did I keep? Oh, my Irish cream. By the way, there's a full bar sitting right over here to my side. Like, it's right there. I can
You are just ready to
yeah, I'm
go
not
at
even
all
joking.
times.
Alright, guys.
I love
I'm
it.
gonna wrap this one up. Thank you for listening to Rochester Trail Riders, and as always, respect the trail, wear a helmet, and clean up after your trailer site.
Yes.
Take care. Happy trails.
Happy trails, everyone.